Hi, this is Frank Todaro, and you're listening to the GeekCast Radio Network.
This is exactly what you wanted.
Hello and welcome to the Fan Vote Reveal as we are presenting to you the GeekCast Radio's nominees for the 2026 edition of our Top 100 Animated Series. This is episode 359 and apparently I'm not feeling strangely fine, folks. I'm, of course, TFG1Mike. Joining me is Steve Megatron, aka George Bush.
Not gonna.
And, of course, OptimusSolo. Hello.
I thought you were going to call me like Jimmy Carter or something. I don't know.
No, I don't know where you would fall because I haven't heard your presidential voice impressions.
I haven't either.
Okay, Mr. Abe.
I cannot tell a lie.
He's George, no matter which one. It doesn't matter if it's the first or if it's the 40. No. Oh, God, now my brain's going to go. No, I can't start thinking of what number the senior was. Anyway,
Broken.
What? Yeah, you did. Yeah, well, it doesn't take much these days. After 17 years, it doesn't take much. We are bringing it back from the GCRN 2025 Year in Review. Go listen to that podcast, folks. We are getting back to the nominees as we once again conclude these nominations, this time by entering the fan votes to continue the awesome year that is 2026 here on the GeekCast Radio Network. Take it away, OptimusSolo, and tell us what the fans want.
So just to catch everybody up, if you haven't been paying attention, we revealed over the last few months of 2025 250 possible animated series that you could vote on for our top 100 animated series redo. And with those 250, we open it up to the fans to let you guys try to get sneak some more shows in that you thought we missed out of those 250. And you could go to the website, you could vote, you could do all kinds of stuff to get your opinions heard. And today we are revealing those extra shows that are going to sneak in along with those 250 that we had revealed previously. Just to give everybody a little bit of data here, we received votes for 62 different shows to be added to the list. We are going to be adding 14 of those that got sufficient votes to our overall 250. So we will end, this is going to burst Mike's brain, we're going to end with 264 shows that you can vote for. I find that
I'm good with that. I don't want to be odd these days. It's an even number. I'm good.
I thought for sure Mike would have a coronary with that not making any type of round number, but apparently he's good with it. So, like I said, I'll reveal real quickly at the end maybe some of the other shows that got votes on, but we're just going to reveal the top 14 that got the most votes that we're going to be adding in. I'll do it in some groups here. Let's do some groups of, 3 or 4 at a time. And then we'll get Mike and Steve's reaction on that. And then we will let you know, now that we have the final 264 shows that you can vote on, what comes next. And Steve and Mike will help fill in the details of how that is going to look and work as well. So let's start with some... I'm going to group this completely randomly, Mike, so it's not going to make any sense for you whatsoever. But that's just the way I want to do this. So.
Yay.
All right, so
guess what that means, folks. In the editing, you get nothing. You're just getting the episode by itself, no extra audio, because I ain't doing any extra work on this shit.
All right, so let's start with just a few here and get your guys' opinions. First two that are going to be added to the list are Courage the Cowardly Dog and Cow and Chicken.
Oh,
any thoughts about those?
Weren't those in the original?
Yes,
they were not. I don't know if they were in the original or not. I would have to pull up the web posts we made about which ones were which, but I know they were discussed in one way, shape, or form. But are those both? I'm completely did no research for this episode. I believe at least one of those is a Nickelodeon show, right?
No, they're both Cartoon Network.
Oh, Cartoon Network.
They're both Cartoon Network.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I watched them.
It is. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Courage, I'm good with. Cow and Chicken was just. Ugh.
See, I'm the other way around. I didn't like Courage, and I would prefer Cow and Chicken.
Because I would have to add both of them to my list of things to watch because I've never watched either of these.
The best part about Courage the Cowardly Dog is the old man when he goes booga booga booga, and then he goes ah! And then the Cow and Chicken and the devil looking dude, they're all voiced by the same person. So
yeah, they are.
Well, those are the first two in. I knew they were on the same channel, so I wanted to group those two together as far as that went. How about some more, let's call it adult-themed shows? We're going to go with a couple here. We got Spawn, Harvey Birdman, which did make its way back into the list. It was going to be the only one that was on our top 100 original list that didn't get a nomination. So we've, I guess, corrected that. And we're going to also add in Celebrity Deathmatch to this. So Spawn, Celebrity Deathmatch, Harvey Birdman. Mike, what do you think?
Spawn did that only get one season?
It was not very many episodes, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like Spawn. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the movie came first, then the cartoon, because I know the comic book was a thing. I'm trying to very, very, very quickly look at this. The novel, oh boy, there's a lot. The 97 film and then the 98 video game.
It was 3 seasons, actually.
Oh, it was 3 seasons. Okay, well, still.
It was only 18 episodes.
Okay, yeah, so it was Netflixing before Netflix was a thing. If it was 3 seasons but only 18 episodes, oh my God. It was one of those MTV shows. It was one of those MTV cartoons, I believe. I could be wrong.
HBO.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Spawn. Yeah, it was HBO.
Yeah, Spawn, HBO. I watched like one episode, but after I saw the film, I was like, okay, that's all I need for that. Like, I don't need to know anything. Again, Spawn came out in 1997. I was 17 years old. I wasn't really I was out of I don't know, whatever. It was okay. The cartoon was okay. Like I said, I think I saw like 2 or 3 episodes. Not enough to remember it. Now, Celebrity Deathmatch, on the other hand, definitely, thank God it got the fan vote because damn. Love that show.
Okay, then. Now we're finally ready for a clean, hard fight. Gentlemen, let's get it on.
I always think of Mills Lane when I think of Celebrity Deathmatch.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, he's the ref.
I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. That's right.
He got real famous for a minute and then disappeared into the ether. Steve, what do you think about these 3? Harvey Birdman, Celebrity Deathmatch, and the short-lived Spawn?
I can definitely see Harvey Birdman, Cartoon Network special, Celebrity Deathmatch with MTV. I don't love Spawn. I get it's a bigger thing as a comic and like a film, but I think Celebrity Deathmatch out of these batch, this 3 is probably the best, like the strongest contender.
Yeah, I think the thing that Spawn has going for it is that it was somewhat unique for its time. There wasn't a whole lot of mature comic book style like HBO animated series happening back in the day. I know it's a little bit more commonplace now, but I get its uniqueness then. I also get the Celebrity Deathmatch uniqueness. Like there wasn't anything like that going on, and definitely, I guess with the death of MTV, it's kind of fitting, I guess, that we get an MTV show to try to live on with that. And I have no problem with Harvey Birdman. I'm not super educated or experienced with Harvey Birdman, but like I said, it was on our original top 100, so it feels like it should be at least in the nomination pool. So
yeah, I have to go back and watch. I have to go back and watch Harvey Birdman because all as I remember, I remember Harvey Birdman late nighting. That's all I remember. He's behind a desk and he's maybe I'm thinking of Space Ghost. I don't know. Mills Lane actually started out as he was a boxer first. He was a boxer, then a referee. Right. And see, I didn't remember all of that. So with him being the referee, but where I had known him obviously from was being the TV judge guy, because that's where I had seen him from. But seeing him in in Celebrity Deathmatch was just so hilariously awesome. You got Johnny and Nick, and just seeing the celebrities that they would impersonate and get, and just it was just such a fun, and it was claymation. You didn't see a lot of claymation shows. There were no, like at that time, there were no, like the last claymation show I remember before Celebrity Deathmatch was Gumby. Like, no, serious. I'm dead serious. Like, claymation was not a thing when Celebrity Deathmatch happened in 99, 98, whenever it was. But yeah, no. So happy they got in.
Yeah. We're going to reveal two more modern ones, I guess you could say somewhat modern ones that made it into the nomination pool. See if you guys have any experience with either of these two. That would be Infinity Train and Arcane. So, again, two more modern ones. I know we got some comments on the website about both of these. Steve, any experience with Arcane or Infinity Train?
I'd never heard of them.
I've heard of Arcane, but I've never actively sought it out.
I believe I watched an episode of Arcane, but I may be getting it confused with one of the other modern ones, and I thought I had some promise, but I'll have to go back now that it's in the nomination pool and watch a few of both of these, just so I have at least knowledge when I go to fill out my ballot and when we reveal what actually makes the top 100, because I feel like a lot of people, when you look up lists and comments about like the last 10 to 15 years, like these two shows get mentioned a lot. So I'm not surprised that there were some fans out there that were pushing for these two as well.
So I did briefly look these up while you guys were talking. Infinity Train is a Cartoon Network series, and it was on the air as of like 2022. It had 4 seasons at that point. Looks a little bit better than some of the stuff, but I mean, again, it kind of falls into the almost the CalArt style type simplistic
Gotcha.
art. And then Arcane is basically League of Legends.
Yeah, that's the one I saw a few episodes of for sure then.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It's from the CGI, it looks pretty stellar. Not sure if it'll be my cup of tea, but I'll give it a shot. And it's got three seasons, it looks like.
I want to say I watched the first 2 episodes possibly, and I was definitely intrigued enough that I would probably give it at least the 5-episode treatment. But I don't know, I'd have to watch those 5 to fully decide. But it looked like it had at least some promise in it for sure. So 2 more modern picks here. I'm going to go with some franchise-related shows that got in here, connections to other franchise shows that we are familiar with, or movies or comic books, etc. So there's 4 of them. So we'll kind of go one at a time here. The first one is from the 90s, and that would be Mask, the animated series. Steve, what do you think about Mask, the animated series? Not...
No, I know what you're talking about.
Mask from the 80s.
I know what you're talking about.
The Mask.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay, Steve, what do you think about this one?
I love this show, so I think it's great. I recently rewatched a big chunk of it, and I think it's entertaining, and I love it. I anything that stemmed from a Jim Carrey property, I'm pretty happy with. Although the Ace Ventura cartoon was kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Ace was
yeah. This was great. Like you had Rob Paulson, and yeah, it was just the whole show was awesome.
I was gonna say Rob does a good Jim Carrey impression.
Mike, are you happy that this one's in the nomination pool?
That's why I've been laughing since you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, The Mask. Yeah.
No, it's the key to making The Mask an all-around nicer guy, like me.
I didn't get to watch a lot of this series just because of when it came out. I was kind of in that phase in the mid to late 90s that I wasn't watching much. But I definitely am very familiar with the movie. And I love Jim Carrey and most of his comedy stuff. So I'm definitely intrigued. I'll have to give this one a shot as well to watch some. This next one's interesting to me. It did spark some debate amongst us whether we included it as a separate entity or not. We are going to treat it as a separate entity because enough people voted that it should be. We're going into the world of the comic books, and this will be the X-Men 97. We'll get its separate listing here. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, so even though it is a continuation of X-Men, the animated series, the reason why I wanted it to be separate is because it is a continuation practically 30 years later kind of thing. Like, that's the whole point, is that in 1997, X-Men, the animated series, had its fifth and final season at the time. And we just figured, oh, okay, that's the final season. That's the final episode. They quote unquote graduated, because I believe, if without looking it up, without typing a bunch of stuff, the final episode was called Graduation Day. And, and yeah, so them bringing it back, and I love that they brought it back, and it's still the same creators. I believe it's Eric and I combine their names, Eric and Julia Leewald, working on it with X-Men 97. They tried to bring back everybody that they could to make it basically the continuation that it is, but it is a continuation of the original series. But they are two very separate things because they are 30 years apart. That's like, you know, I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, but it's its own separate thing, and it deserves to be its own separate thing. The animation style isn't exactly the exact same thing. That's the other reason why I think it needs to be separated, besides the time aspect. Compare X-Men the Animated Series animation, like the first two seasons, to the first season of X-Men 97. It's not the exact same animation style 30 years apart. It just isn't. I love that it's here. I think it's great because I think it's a great show. So,
Steve, are you happy that it's in the pool?
Yeah, I mean, it was great when I watched it. I mean, I'm waiting for the second season now, but I mean, I loved the original series to begin with, so it's kind of a pipe dream that this thing's back.
Yeah, another interesting way to get a more modern, I guess, a series in there as well. So something from recent times. This next one, I guess, is completely fitting given who we are. But how many Transformers series is enough? We have, I believe, 6 in the pool at the moment. We have Transformers, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Transformers Animated, Transformers Prime, and Transformers Rescue Bots. So let's go ahead and add a 7th. Mike, any guess?
Oh, God. As long as it's not Armada, Energon, or Cybertron, I'm good.
Well, which one do you think would be in there if there was a 7th series being added?
It's probably Armada, but as long as it's not Energon or Cybertron, I'm good.
All right. Transformers Armada it is.
Armada,
that will be in our 7th Transformers series into the countdown. Steve, your thought?
I'm fine with it. I liked that rendition. It got progressively worse as
that's why.
But it is a trilogy.
Yes, yeah. I know that. I know.
So, but I think the best one out of the 3 represented it here. So,
well, there's no way that anybody, if there's a Transformers fan out there that's voting on our countdown, we've got to have their favorite Transformers series represented. I would feel like,
yeah,
we gave them 7 choices, so
exactly, yeah,
something for every generation, something for everybody. I would think in there. All right, the last one that's a franchise-related title, and I'm super stoked that this one has made the list. I just think it's one of the better reboot/remakes of a cartoon series that I've seen.
Uh-oh.
This is going to go to the 2009 version, The Garfield Show.
Oh, okay.
Obviously starring Frank Welker, Greg Berger's in there again, etc. This one ran for 5 seasons, over 100 episodes. It was on from 2009 to 2016. Steve, wow. Any experience with Doug Garfield Show, and do you think it's worthy of being in our pool?
So is this the one that's the CGI?
Correct.
Okay. I've watched it, albeit briefly, with my kids, and I think it's fine. I still prefer Garfield and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think it's fine. Garfield's pretty harmless.
All these years, and I didn't know lasagna could talk. Why didn't it say something? What if it isn't just lasagna? What if ravioli can talk? What if cannoli tries to beat me up? And the garlic bread? I'll starve.
I think it was a good introduction of Garfield to a new generation, potentially with with the CG and with Frank Welker doing a lot of the voices. I kind of appreciate that. I haven't watched it extensively, but I watched it enough to know that like it's a quality animated series. I just would have to watch more in depth to see how high the quality is and to see how it would rank amongst the rest. Like you said, especially against the original. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. I've only seen like clips here and there of it, but what I have seen of it, I've enjoyed, and I agree with what you guys are saying. I mean, as long as especially it's Garfield, like.
Yeah.
You don't want to. No one ever wants to go into any project by, I'd like to screw this up. I'd like to, whatever. No one ever wants to do that, no matter what you're working on. But especially Garfield, you want to get Garfield right. And I think from the clips that I've seen, they've gotten it right. And with Lorenzo Music having been gone a long time now, I think Frank Welker does a good enough Garfield voice. And I'm not saying that to say, oh my God, Frank Welker just does it good. I'm not saying it like that.
He does it gooder.
I didn't say that. I said good enough.
I said gooder.
Yeah, you can say gooder all you want, Mr. Gooder over there. The point is that I think the Garfield show was a nice updating to what we had before. But again, as I say all the time, and as I said, I think I said in the other episodes that we did leading up to all of this, in all of our reveals, just because there's a new version doesn't mean it erases the old version. You can go back and you can, well, hopefully, if it's streaming somewhere, if it's on DVD, you can go back and watch Garfield and Friends. You can go back and watch the other 6 or 7 or 11 Transformers series or whatever kind of thing. Okay, I'm using that because it has the most representation kind of thing. But like, the point is that if you want the other thing, you can go find the other thing. But with this version of the Garfield show and the clips that I have seen of it, I did very much enjoy it. And I do think it does, deserve to be here.
I am actually interested that not a single one of these 14 additional shows is going to date itself in the 80s or before. These are all 90s and onward shows, so I thought that was a little bit interesting. These final 3 here, I am pretty stoked that these are going to be in the pool. I think there's different arguments that could be made for each one. I think one of them's for sure underrated. I think one of them is underrated. I think one of them has for some reason been forgotten to time. And then I know another one's going to make Steve happy. So I'm fine with all 3 of these here. So our final 3, we'll start with Bobby's World. I think that's the one that seems to be forgotten to time. I think a lot of people talk about Rugrats and talk about Doug and talk about a lot of those other ones that were around that same time period. And for some reason, Bobby's World seems to have gotten forgotten. But I appreciate Bobby's World, so I'm somewhat happy that it is in the pool. The final 2, and then I'll get your guys' reaction on all 3 together. The final 2 were our highest 2 vote getters, actually, and that would be Mighty Max and Pirates of Darkwater. So I think Pirates of Darkwater is kind of the hidden gem that a lot of people don't know about, and Mighty Max, I just think, is a show that the people that remember it very fondly. So, Steve, what do you think about Mighty Max, Pirates of Darkwater, and Bobby's World?
I love it. I watched all 3 of those. Pirates of Darkwater I watched more so when there was nothing else on, and same thing with Bobby's World. Bobby's World was kind of fun just to watch, and the little jokes and everything else that kind of happened, and then you had Howie Mandel, playing as the cartoon and as the live action version of,
right.
Dad. So it was entertaining. And then, he played Bobby as well.
Yep.
And then Pirates of Darkwater, like I said, it was an entertaining show. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was kind of with that gritty, like SWAT Cats type of era of Cartoon Network.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Mighty Max, like that hands down out of those 3 was my absolute favorite. I watched the crap out of that. Norman, Virgil, and Max, and Skullmaster, and just so many great voice actors in the show too. So I just loved how it played along, Didn't love the ending, but because it kind of rebooted itself, like it was in a circular time loop, in essence. But yeah, it was a great show.
I think Pirates of Darkwater has a interesting voice cast as well. I mean, you do have Peter Cullen and Frank Welker in there, but you got Hector Elizondo in there, Tim Curry, and Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel from The Little Mermaids, in there. So I think that's an interesting voice cast. I think all of these should get more attention, should get watched more and talked about more. So I'm happy they're in there. What do you think about these three, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. And I am so glad that they never went with the original title for Bobby's World. The World According to Bobby. That would not have gotten it 7 seasons. Bobby's World, I forgot it had 7 seasons. Like, I thought it only had 3 or 4 seasons, but it ran from 90 to 97. And yes, you are right. Howie voiced Bobby, and he also voiced his dad. Yeah,
Generic?
Himself. Well, yeah.
I can't remember what his first name was, but it's something generic, right?
Yeah, Howard Generic, modeled upon and also voiced by Howie Mandel, using his normal voice. So,
all right.
No, yeah, Bobby's World, absolutely. Pirates of Darkwater is the one that I have to catch up with. What was the other one? Oh God,
Mighty Max.
Mighty Mac. That's the other one I got to watch too. I remember watching Pirates of Darkwater. For some odd reason, I remember it lining up with Batman the Animated Series. I could be wrong. When did
on from like 91 to 93?
Okay, so it's in that range since BTAS debuted in 92. I seem to remember at some point them following each other or something.
It aired on ABC, Fox Kids, and in syndication.
Okay, so BTAS was on Fox, so it wouldn't have aired directly. I don't know. Somehow, some way, I watched the two of them together, back to back, or flipping channels, or whatever kind of thing. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to go back to Pirates of Darkwater and watch it again. But what I did see of it, I really did enjoy. And again, I think all three of them deserve to be in the running.
Pirates of Darkwater kind of is along the same lines for me as like a Gargoyles. It was like one of the rare 90s cartoons made for like a general audience that was also had a serious tone. Like we got some of that in the 80s, but like in the 90s it was a lot more slapsticky comedy fun stuff, and then like Gargoyles and Pirates of the Darkwater to me kind of represented the more serious side of cartoons in the 90s. That's kind of how I would group those. So I'm going to run down all 14 of these just real quickly. So they're all in a same group together. We have Mighty Max, Pirates of Darkwater, Bobby's World, Arcane, Celebrity Deathmatch, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Cow and Chicken, Harvey Birdman, Infinity Train, Spawn, Seth MacFarlane's Spawn, The Garfield Show, The Mask, the Animated Series, Transformers Armada, and X-Men 97 are our additional nominees. I'm just going to fairly quickly go through. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on these other ones. Like I said, 62 shows got voted on, but I just want to at least give them a mention. So I'm going to do it in some groups. We had Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers, Ion Flux, Afro Samurai, Alana Ace, Amphibia for the A's. We had Banger and Mash, Battle of the Planets, Beanie and Cecil, Beware the Batman, Biker Mice from Mars, Bonkers, Bucky O'Hare, and the Toad Wars. Castlevania, Clone High from 2002, Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball GT, Drawn Together, Extreme Dinosaurs, Final Space, Ghost in the Shell, Green Lantern, Hilda, Home Movies, James Bond Jr., Life with Louie, Metal Apocalypse, I can never say that one, Mighty Ducks, the Animated Series, Moral, Oral, Quick Draw, McGraw, Rambo, Rapunzel's Tangled, Scavenger Reign, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, Shaun the Sheep, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, Street Sharks, The Critic, The Looney Tunes Show, The Owl House, Thunderbirds, which is an animated series, so that would have got DQ'd anyways, Totally Spies, Transformers Energon, Transformers Headmasters, Trapdoor, Trigun, Uncle Grandpa, Undone, and Witch, WITCH with periods next to all of them. Mike, any thoughts about the a million that I just read off?
I'm actually surprised that Eon Flux didn't make it. I'm really surprised because that's one that everybody usually praises a lot.
I could have seen that. Afro Samurai sometimes gets some love.
Yep.
I know there was some more modern people pushing for like a Final Space or something like that. Quick Draw McGraw was like the only old school one that got a vote. I thought that was interesting. That was probably me. And the Looney Tunes Show, that would have been an interesting remake, but it's hard when there's so many other ones. We did get a couple more Transformers mentions. Steve, any thoughts on any of these?
No, just kind of surprised all the different ones that showed up here.
Yeah, definitely a variety of shows. So those will not make the countdown, but we have added 14 to our 250. For those math people out there, that makes 264 possible shows that the panels and the people that we invite are going to be able to vote on to narrow it down to 100. So 164 of them will not make it. 100 will. Mike, any thoughts as we get one step closer in this project?
Nope, just let's get it done.
Steve, any information for folks as far as what they can expect next from us when it comes to the countdown, or how they can eventually interact and submit some opinions in other ways on the website?
So, of course, there'll be ways to submit opinions on the website, not only with comments, but there is going to be a, if people have been around long enough, they'll remember we used to have a voicemail line. And so with this, there'll be a new fan zone interactive page. Fan zone, Transformers animated. So anyways, there'll be a limit on the amount of seconds that can be displayed on this, these clips. They're going to be 30 to 180 seconds available. I will try to cram as many of these in the episodes as possible. Just for, to be featured on the podcast with just thoughts or whatever. So that'll be one way that fans can interact and, share a memory about their favorite show or react to the latest rankings, defending their show. But, you have up to, little over 2 minutes, about 3 minutes total to gab on there. So there's that. And then, of course, we'll be emailing our past contributors very, very soon with the ballot and seeing if they're interested, and then submitting it through the website. And and then hopefully we have a massive amount of lists that come back to help us usher in this new 15th anniversary of the Top 100 animated series countdown.
That'll be the goal. And in the meantime, while you guys will hear this episode, and then there will be a hiatus, I guess you could call it, or some time gap in between when we pick up again, because that will be us in the background doing all the work, right? We're going to be doing all the work, collecting the list, compiling the data, formulating the actual top 100. So when you're not hearing us talk about it, just trust us. We're doing the work in the background, and then we'll be bringing you the episodes as soon as we get all of that work done. Then we will start pumping these episodes out like usual, Mike.
Absolutely. I do have something I still have to work through in my head and work through with Steve and other things, but I do have a special episode for next time called GCR 360. It's still something that I have working in the back of my brain, but that's what's happening next. And then after that, GCR will go on a break until we are ready for the top 100. So that's what's going on with this podcast. Anything else you guys want to bring up? Anything you want to promote? Steve, Kev, anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you got on your other podcast that you're doing that you got? What's going on with Cinema Geeks for 2026?
Well, if you're interested in movies, then we got some content coming at you guys. We already have produced our box office draft battle that Dan and I had. So we each got to select a team of 10 movies and to see which one of us can make the most money, I guess you could say, at the box office. So that one's already live and available for you guys to listen to. Coming up next or soon, we will be doing our top 10 films of 2025. Our top 10 most anticipated films of 2026. And then we will be getting into another retrospective series. And if you want to know what that's going to be about, then you should tune into some of those other episodes as we will start teasing that. And that'll probably take us through the first, half of 2026. So it should be fun. We also got some fun episodes with some games and things that we'll probably sprinkle in throughout to change it up here and there.
Very cool. Very cool. What about you, Steve? What's going on with Altered Geek or anything else you got working on?
Well, currently, I took advantage of the new computer market. I bought myself a new computer, so
Yay.
I'm going to be setting that bad boy up, and I'm excited.
That was exciting things.
Yep. There's only currently, because I haven't done any more research on this, but I wrote this up last year, at the end of last year. There's only 2 movies I'm excited for so far in 2026 that I really want to see: Mercy and Crime 101.
Well, I'm sure
Doomsday.
if you had my list of 170 films that I looked into that are coming out for this next film, I could add a few to your list.
How the hell do you do that? No.
I like Excel.
I've got a list.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I researched 170 films to come up with my top 10, and like I said, Dan and I will be going back and forth with our picks very soon.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a crazy year at the box office. Just about every director known to man that's like a big name director is seemingly coming out with a movie this year. So take it for what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for what I have coming up, folks, over on Studio 2009, we're going to launch Media Mayhem, where we give you the movie choices of whomever the guest is. I launched this with my buddy David Draper, so we've got his episode and then my episode. Basically, the premise of this is whenever you're born, you pick one movie the year that you were born, the next year, up until whatever the current year is. And we started this last year, so we actually only went up to, at the time of the recordings, we went up to 2024 because 2025 hadn't fully been done yet. And then we've got Coyote Ugly, and we've got something else coming for episode 170 because it hasn't been finished yet. And then we will be doing season 3 of Columbo, which has been recorded. It was recorded last year, actually, so it's been a year in the making. Yay, pre-production. So that's what's coming up on Studio 2009. And yeah, that's going to do it for us here on GeekCast Radio episode 359, folks. You can check out geekcastradio.com for all the podcasts that we do. We've got over 4,000 episodes over there. Over 40 different unique podcasts. You can visit shop.geekcastradio.com where you can buy anything that we sell. Steve's always adding stuff over there. You can check us out on all the podcasting clients that are out there. You can join the GCRN Discord. The link will be in the website post. We hope you enjoyed this episode of GeekCast Radio. Wish you'll join us next time. We will be talking about yet another geeky topic. This time around, coming up next, I still have to formulate the idea in my brain, but it's GCR 360. We're circling the wagons, folks. Circling the wagons. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Steve Megatron
and OptimusSolo.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Hey, mate, what do you do when you're surrounded by crocodiles? You run, you slide, you hit the bump and take a dive. It's Super Crocodile Mile with a high-speed air cushion bodyboard and super drencher spray. But watch out for the crocs. You run, you slide, you hit the bump and take a dive. Super Crocodile Mile with air cushion bodyboard and super drencher spray from Marchon.
You've just heard a podcast from the GeekCast Radio Network. If you enjoyed this discussion, head over to geekcastradio.com to check out this episode's post for more insights and links. Interact with the show, feedback at geekcastradio.com, or interact with us on X at GeekCast Radio and on Facebook at GeekCast Radio Network. Don't forget to subscribe to the GeekCast Radio Network of podcasts on your favorite podcatcher. So until next time, unleash the geek in you.